Welcome back to the Name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. We are joined here today by my manager, an official Clark's Ketchup MVP voter on the panel. He is the manager of the Boston Red Sox in Puerto Rico right now, where it is much warmer than it is up here in Boston. Alex, Cora, welcome to the show.
Not too many MVPs last year, by the way, right?
No, I don't think we were talking about that the other day. I don't think we had one in the entire month of September.
For real?
I don't think so.
We got hot at one point. We were hot, like really hot.
Not that, no, I don't know what your definition of hot is, but I don't think, like,
Kinda
Tyler,
like.
you would know. Did we win a series in the month of September?
Not in
The
September.
very beginning
no,
of
no,
September.
No, not in September.
We beat KC.
Oof.
When was that? The first week of
It
September?
was legit the first 2 or 3 days of September. That was, I think, the last series win of the year.
Was that at home or on the road?
I think it was the road.
Was Casey?
Yeah.
Casey was the series where Pablo Lopez struck out and then hit the grand slam after.
That was earlier. We were at that point. We were like the Yellow Sox,
Couldn't stop
35-1.
Yeah. The Yellow Sox.
We got news about that. I'll let you know.
What's up?
With uniforms, a lot of
What do you got?
structure. There's going to be structure next year. Yep.
Do you want to talk about that? Can you tell us about that?
There's going to be a lot of whites, a lot of grays. I think our uniforms are great. Good looking uniforms. I was watching the World Series. You see the Rangers, right? That was a nice uniform, but obviously they went with the blue. Their alternate jersey. So just watching, I called Tommy. Say, Tommy, we need structure with their uniforms. We have to. We cannot rely on yellow whenever we suck. No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, yeah, is it the uniforms or is it us? So we're gonna use the red on Fridays. We're gonna use the City Connect on Saturdays. And the rest of the week, we're going to wear whites. And then on the road, there's going to be a lot of gray and then the blue top on Fridays. So there's going to be structure. That's how we're going to do it.
Like that. I like that. Was it?
Like on Saturdays, people know, City Connect, you go wearing yellow to Fenway Park. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
I like that. Shout out Tommy Mack, by the way. For anyone that doesn't know Tommy Mack, he is the head honcho. He's the king of the clubbies on the Red Sox side, and he wasn't his idea. Wasn't he the break glass in case of emergency last year when we kind of sucked, and he was like, "We got to wear the yellows." That was his idea, right?
Yeah, let's wear yellow. But then it was kind of how many times are we going to wear this? I wish we should have gone yellow the whole time, but it's just. So next year, structure. A lot of whites, a lot of gray, alternates on Fridays, and then City Connect on Saturdays.
Okay. All right. So that's breaking news. We love that.
You see, from the source.
Yeah, straight from the source, breaking news. Where I kind of want to start is more with you, not as much with the team, with you, because there was a lot of talk about your role, where you see yourself in the future. Is it going to be a Brad Stevens situation? The search for the general manager and your involvement in that. And I feel like, didn't you say publicly that it's not even that you were that heavily involved in the search?
I just made some, whenever they asked me to talk to people, I talked to them, and I had the opportunity to meet a lot of baseball executives, interesting people, see different views, listen to them. Not only talking about our team, but talking about me, how they saw me, in the game, the way I go about the business, things that they like, things that they probably coming into the situation will ask me to change. And it was an eye-opening experience. It was fun. Spent a lot of time talking to them, 2 hours of talking baseball with somebody that you don't know. And the conversations were solid. They were good. Wish them nothing but the best, good people around the game. And, at the end, we went with Bress, and I do believe he's going to have an impact in this organization. In next year and the upcoming years. You heard what he said yesterday about kind of like invest on the big league team, which is very important. Obviously, we're going to continue to make strides in player development, and we have to do that. That's the nature of the business. But at the same time, taking care of the Red Sox is important. Is important for the players, important for ownership and the people that work. And I think it's more important for you guys, for the nation. 2 years of finishing last, and it's not acceptable. We know that. I was actually listening to Cash yesterday, and
that was
he
tough.
he was. I mean, I actually texted him. I was like, "You go, man! I love it."
How can he sit there with a straight face and be like, "We're a pretty fucking good team"? Like, no, you're not.
I love the fact that he was dropping F-bombs and all that.
Yeah.
He's not afraid, wearing his glasses, styling. Good guy, man. Have you met him? Have you guys met him?
I met him one time in 2019 at Yankee Stadium. Yeah.
Yeah. Solid dude. Yeah. I really like it.
So in the interviewing process, when you were having conversations with Breslow, what did you guys click on? Like when you were, obviously you were teammates, but I remember, they asked you in the media scrum, like, "Hey, what do you recall about being teammates with Breslow?" You're like, "I didn't." Like, I don't know. It was a blip on the radar back then. But when you guys are having conversations during the interview process about baseball philosophies, what did you guys click on where it's like, okay, like we're on the same page here?
I think his strength is pitching, and that's something we have to be better. We all understand that. The last 2 years we have struggled. At the big league level, developing pitchers, it's not easy. You start looking at where we were the last 2 years in the standings at one point, and that's something that I don't care what people think. Yeah, we finished last. We know that, and we struggle, but both years at one point in the season we were right there. One game from the wild card. I think in 22 we were leading the wild card until that awful game in Tampa. Trevor gets hit, Stromy gets hurt, Frenchie throws the ball, it bounces, it hits Christian's mask, and they score. It was a friggin' shit show. But we competed until we ran out of bullets, right? Like we ran out of arms, and just listen to him, his vision, the way he wants to go about it, from the Dominican League all the way to the big leagues. It's intriguing. It's impressive. You start looking at the Cubs, what they've done the last few years as far as like stuff. He's really good. He's swing and miss stuff from their guys, and he has a pretty good idea. There's conviction behind it, and I've been saying all along, there's two things that we have to be better at, right? And they go hand in hand, is pitching better and play better defense. And if we can, be better from the mound, we should be okay. I think, Fenway is always conducive to offense. We had some guys that, they stepped up last year, Jaron, Casas, Rafi. In a bad year, he drove in 100 and hit 30. I do believe Trevor is going to be okay. And then, we got to work some magic or make some moves to improve the lineup. But if we get the pitching straight, we're going to be fine. And that's what he's all about. It's something that ownership, they talk about it throughout the process. We have to be a lot better in that aspect. And I do believe with the structure that we're going to have and the way we're going to go about it, we will improve.
I mean, you're a no bullshit kind of guy. Like you don't sugarcoat things, and I feel like you don't gas it up unless you truly believe in it. And we've heard somewhat from ownership publicly, like the whole like full throttle thing was said by Tom Warner. The Red Sox want to go full throttle this winter. So you're seeing the public comments, and I'm sure you're having private conversations as well. From where you sit, where should Red Sox fans be in terms of their expectations for this offseason? Because as well as anyone, we've seen a bunch of off seasons go by that underwhelming trade deadlines go by. underwhelming. And I mentioned the other day, like the last time we saw breaking news and the reaction was holy fuck was Chris Sale. And that was before
No,
that
was
was
no. You got excited when you got freaking. I know you got excited because you talk about Dave Dombrowski putting his
Big Dick Davey
on the table when we signed JD, and we actually had a meeting with Dave, and we got the soundbite and we we play it. Yeah. And he turned red, man. This guy, man, like we're talking about, the man, Hall of Famer, very, like composed, perfect, hair is perfect, his turtleneck, the sports coat, and we put it, like it was epic. And I think that was really good. We got JD. That's kind of like, the moves that we made the last few years, there were good baseball moves, right? But it wasn't like blockbuster kind of thing or getting the headlines. We try to be smart about our moves. Some of them they worked, some of them didn't. But I think the last big one, I do believe it was JD, right? The extension of Nate. Everybody expected that one.
Rafi,
yeah. They had. I mean, we had to, right? Yeah. Pierce, that one, yeah.
But no one knew what we had then. Like that was something where, because I think a lot of the moves that Dave made at that deadline were super early. Like he wasn't doing deadline buzzer beaters. It was just, hey, we need an arm. Let's go get Nate. Hey, let's go get Steve Pierce. Steve Pierce was like early July.
Yeah, and Ian, we got Ian. People forget about that one. Yeah, but but JD was the last big one for the Red Sox, I believe.
Yes. So again, like a lot of us are sitting here trying to. I don't think that a lot of us are super gassed up to where we're expecting like they're going to go get Yamamoto and they're going to sign Shohei Ohtani and they're going to pay Aaron Nola. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that, but I think it's cautiously optimistic where change has to be around the corner. How do you feel about this offseason and what the plan is? Is it okay to be excited? Can I take this protection layer off to where I can get excited without getting hurt in the end?
I don't think you're going to get hurt. I don't believe so. I do believe when opening day comes, you're going to see the team, and it's going to be a complete team. And then this is from like Rafi all the way to the 26th guy. I think where we at, we can go different ways. We know that, but having a complete team is going to be important for us. Our bench has to be better. Having to make tough decisions in spring training, sending guys down that have been with us the last 2 years, from the pitching department or position players, I'm not into the options right now. I kind of like forget who doesn't have options, but the good things, I do believe there's going to be decisions in spring training that people are going to be like, what? And it's because we are, in a better spot, talent wise. And when opening day comes, we go to Seattle, by the way. We go to Texas first, world champs. We go there for 2 games. But when
it's 2019 all over again, they're fucking us with the schedule.
No. But we're gonna be better than in 19. Shit, that was.
You think so?
Awful. Yeah. Better. Yeah, I mean that road trip is gonna be better. We're gonna play a lot of night games in Fort Myers this year towards the end
to prepare for that.
But I do believe, as far as like from 1 through 26. We're going to be in a better spot. We're going to be deeper, and that's what it takes. I think guys like Jaron, Casas, Rafi, Trevor. Obviously, we know that Trevor is kind of like the key of the offense in a sense. We'll see what happens with other situations, but I do believe you can feel comfortable that when opening day comes, you're going to be in a good spot, and it should be fun. It should be good.
when we were up on that stage last January and you saw how angry the fan base was, what were you feeling inside? Like, was it eye-opening for you, or were you thinking like, yeah, they should be mad, like we should be better than this?
It was uncomfortable to say the least.
Yeah.
but like I told Haim, I told John and Sam, and if we like to be on that stage in January of 2019, if we like to be on that stage in in January of 2022, right? You have to face a crowd. You have to do it. That's what we do. You have to be accountable. You have to be genuine and transparent in this market. And I think, for how bad it looked, everybody that was on stage, we felt very uncomfortable. But I think, Haim did an outstanding job trying to explain the whole situation. Sam did his best, and John was John, and you did a good job, by the way, kid. You were good.
They cut out. I was your one man hype crew.
You were in your environment, like kind of like WWE, whatever, WWF. Like, yeah, here we go, Mean Gene. Yeah. Here we go, let's go. Yeah, but hopefully this year when we go again, they take it a lot easier on us, and instead of being uncomfortable, just make it fun. Make it fun for us.
Yeah. I think the tone will and should be much different this time around because there is a concerted effort to change, and I think ownership sees that change was necessary in order to get back on the path of winning. Aside from pitching, because I think that's the obvious one. You mentioned defense as another one. Take those two off the table because they're just the glaring issues. What do the Red Sox have to do to get back to, maybe I don't even want to say get back to 2018 because I mean that team was so ridiculous that like it's a super team. I'm thinking
what's going on at this house now. So yesterday, one of the boys was looking for stuff, whatever, and he found the DVD of the 2018 World Series.
Yeah.
So he goes, tomorrow in the car, I want this. So today, the whole day, took him to school this morning at 7. JD Martinez. And I'm like, okay, cool. Pick him up. It's game 2. And him telling me, oh, this guy hit a home run, whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome because now they're getting to understand what really happened. There were 1.5 at that point. They didn't know. Yeah. But the whole day I was listening to 2018 World Series. Hopefully something positive, bro. But at the same time, it's kind of like, man, let's turn the page, man. Like, 18 was like a unicorn year. That was like from day one, we lost that game in Tampa and then we took off, and we were like 17-2. And they threw a no against us, I think. And the media tried to make it.
That was the day that we met.
Yeah. They tried to make with Dallas, right? It was your fault. Jinxed it. And people try to make a big deal out of it. We got no hit. The next day, we didn't play Mookie. Oh, what are they doing? Like, we know what we want to do, And then Mookie hit 3 in Toronto after 2 off days, So, 18 was ridiculous. Hopefully we can do it again. But, I'll take 21.
That's what I was going to say.
I'll take 21. Make it to the playoffs and then do what we do. Because at that point, we're very creative. We're not afraid to use our guys in different situations. I was watching today, and for how bad we were, not today, I was watching the playoffs, and for how bad it was, I was like, if we were in that spot, then you got Cutter and Tanner and Witt, like they can start, they can come out of the bullpen, and all these do these creative things, and you never know. You win 3 out of 5, 4 to 7, 4 to 7, and here we go. But it didn't happen, and we just got to be better in a lot of aspects. I think we got to play faster. That's something we noticed throughout the playoffs and during the season. And I keep saying, we cannot be sloppy at Fenway Park. We cannot be the team making mistakes running the bases at Fenway Park. We cannot make mistakes playing the wall, right, throwing to the wrong bases. And there was a lot of that. And as you guys know, it's a reflection of me. I'm the manager. I got to be better in those aspects. And next spring we're gonna do a lot of stuff at JetBlue Park. We're not gonna work out in the backfields. We're gonna do a lot of things there because we have to dominate our environment. That's the key of the Red Sox throughout this magical run, right? Since '03. Fenway is Fenway. It's our house. You dominate there. You play 500 on the road, and then the equation is very simple. You make the playoffs.
What's the biggest lesson that you think you've learned since coming here in 18?
I still believe you got to cancel the noise, but at the same time, it gets to the point that don't cancel it. Use it to your benefit. And it's not that you have a chip on your shoulder. I want to prove people wrong, but use it to your advantage. Like how are we going to do that? It depends on us. If you can handle it. If not, don't listen to it because it gets loud. You guys have seen it throughout the years. There's guys that they really enjoy the atmosphere. They enjoy the challenge of playing in Boston. There's other people that they don't like it, and they take it personal. And it's not personal. It's just our culture. That's the way I see it. People enjoy it. They like the Bruins. They like the Patriots. They like the Celtics, the Revolutions. They like us. And you guys have an uncanny way of supporting your teams, supporting us. And I enjoy it, man. Like I was talking to Brad Stevens yesterday and some of the coaches in a Zoom call. And, they asked me a lot of questions about leadership and all that. And towards the end, the message was kind of like, embrace it, man. This year, you guys are freaking really good, really good. But embrace it because when you look back, it takes one of your kids to put the DVD to remember the cool things that really happened because everything was so fast. And, the only way I enjoyed it, and today, one of the commentators were talking about the pictures. I was like, holy shit, yeah, the pictures.
Yeah.
That was the way I enjoyed it. Like that win. But you have to enjoy it, man. It's a very unique city. It's so cool when we win. And then frick, you were in the parade drinking beers. Like where they do that. Where they do that. Only in Boston.
I feel like I sold my soul for that. It's been all downhill since then. I mean, I came up for air in 21 and like that was so much fun. And I talked to Plawecki about that year all the time and how, I would trade. I know that, you personally wouldn't. I would trade the 07 championship to win in 21. I would.
Do not do this, Jared.
I would 100%.
The 07?
That means the world to me. 07 is my favorite championship. It was my first one. Like, I would do anything to keep that.
Down 3-1, country singer, all this.
Danielle Peck.
Whatever. Yeah, came in. Then, Josh dominates. And then Petey's, JD Drew, boom, grand slam. Then
Game
Petey
6.
dominated the game against Rafael Betancourt. Coco gets hurt. People forget about that. He makes the catch. He gets hurt.
Into center field.
So then Jacoby takes over. I mean, it was like, and then after that, we just dominated. I think it was Green Day at the hotel after the game, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember much about that one. That was a good one.
But you mentioned this year's playoffs. A guy like Lovello, and you have Hyde, some of these managers that got hired into kind of like shit situations that had their organizations build up the team to where they become winners and they have success. For you, it was like, bam, World Series title year one. 19, a team that I think we all thought could run it back. 20, we're not going to talk about 20. And then 21,
20
year.
I was here, bro. I was just hanging out.
yeah.
Fuck.
And then you've got
21.
22. Yeah, 21 was great. And then 22 and 23, the last place seasons. How, because it's almost like it's like a reverse thing where, you know, you have like Lavello and Hyde who they have this like rise to the top, and then for you it's like you got to like live in a mansion, and then it's like, all right, well now I have to fucking live in a dumpster with this team. How did you keep your cool? Like, how did you keep your sanity when I know that there are certain aspects of the game that you preach to your own players, and then you see the game played in a way that it's like, that's not how we taught this. That's not what we preach here. That's not the brand of baseball that won us a championship. How do you kind of keep your wits about you when the game is not being played to your satisfaction?
No, it's not easy, but excuse me. At the same time, you have to understand that, you just got to keep teaching the game. That's the bottom line. And it didn't work the last 2 years. We made some strides in certain areas. I think like you see Casas, what happened with him, and forget the offensive part of it. Defensively this year, he was bad early on, and he became a solid first baseman. With Rafi, it's been kind of like on and off, right? He looks great for 2 months, and then he struggles for 1 week, and all of a sudden everybody feels like he cannot play third base anymore. No, he's just in a slump. But for me personally, this was what I signed in 18, in 17, understanding that there's going to be good years, great years, and bad years. Of course, I wish I was in like Booney, right? Everybody gets on Booney. Frick, man, he's won a lot of games, Like last year was the first time he doesn't make it to the playoffs, I think the goal here is to be in the dance every single year. And that's when I do believe we are at our best, because we get creative. Fenway is a madhouse, and there's something about that area that makes us better, puts us to be better. Now is like stuff like this every day, like today I'm doing the podcast, but there's other days, boom, boom, kids go to sleep, Angelica goes to sleep, get in the computer. How are we going to be better? How are we going to improve this? Spring training is going to have a different vibe next year, not only because Bress is here, but it's something that we talk towards the end of the season. We have to challenge these guys to embrace this place, it's about competition. We have to compete in every aspect, and when you do that and you learn how to do it, and we're talking about like bowling tournaments, escape rooms, and paintball and Topgolf, everything. Let's do this as a team. It's not about culture. I think sometimes there's two words that have been overused the last 5 years in our industry, and I think in the world, is culture and communication, right? Like, yeah, everybody believes in culture. You guys have culture, right? This is what you guys do. So why keep talking about it? Like, what's the point? Like, we know that every team, every company has a different culture, so don't scream, to the world that this is our culture. We know what we have to do. And communication, the more you keep talking about like, oh, we have to be better communication wise, what's going on? Your communication sucks, to be honest with you. So, we have to do stuff to be better. We just have to, improve in a lot of areas. There's certain things that I believe in that we haven't been doing, as a group the last 24 months. Pitching is one of them. Certain things that I believe we have to do to be average in a sense. And then, of course, dominate series. That's the key. And, I'm working a lot, man. I work a lot, and hopefully it works.
There's a chance he could still come back, but let's just say hypothetically, Justin Turner does not return to the team next year. That's a pretty massive voice that's going to be missing in the clubhouse. Who are you going to be looking to fill that void?
I think we have to wait for the offseason to end. There's a lot of guys out there that have pedigree, they have experience, and they're winners. So, JT, from my end, it wasn't the impact in the clubhouse. I haven't seen a guy embrace the community the way they did, right? Corny and JT, they were involved in everything. They enjoyed. I still believe they're they're around. I know they went to Texas for something, but they still, going to the basketball games, just being around. And, what a guy, coming to the situation. I talked to him around December 5th, the first time. We went to see Kike in Arizona and, called JT, and we talk about the void in the clubhouse, right? With Xander gone, JD was about to sign with the Dodgers. We needed a voice, but at the same time, we needed a player. And that day in Seattle, man, when he jammed his heel, the plan was for him to play a lot of second base, to maximize our offense. And the defense was going to suffer, but we believe he was going to make the routine plays. But we felt like this is the way we can actually, maximize our strongest tool, right? Which is offense, playing Jaron, playing JT, Casas, and see what happens. If you're going to score against us, we can score more. That was the whole thing. And he gets hurt and just didn't work at the end. But what a guy, man. It's A+ in everything. And we'll see what the future holds.
Tyler?
So hearing you just kind of talk about the whole communication thing, it sounded like maybe that came from some of the narratives we've heard, over the last couple of years, I think especially before Heim was fired, about maybe there being, a disconnect between you and him, that narrative being pushed in media in different ways. Do you feel like that narrative was overblown? Like you talk about it, it's kind of just a business of talking, working, you're going to agree, you're going to disagree sometimes. But do you think that kind of took on a life of its own as people looked for something to blame on why they were struggling?
Yeah, those stories always come out when teams struggle, right? I can tell you we had some disagreements in 18 and 19 in certain areas, me and Dave, and it never came out because, you know what? We won 100 and whatever games,
108.
Yeah, 108, 119. So
119.
Yeah. It's kind of like chemistry, bad chemistry, right? Like, maybe the Rangers, they don't get along. I don't know. Maybe they do, but nobody's going to say anything about bad chemistry. You know why? Because they won the last game of the season, right? But stories will always come out. People are going to make, have their narratives. Heim is a guy that I like, I respect. Actually, the day before the news broke, we had a meeting. We met for 2.5 hours talking about the now, the future, the past, and what we were going to do, in the offseason to make this better. So, I read, I see, and I'm like, what? I don't sweat it. I don't waste my energy on stuff like that. I think we try to do our best the last 3 years. He gave me a chance to come back from where I was, and it just didn't happen.
So going back to September and kind of hearing you at the end of the season, I think just from your perspective, holding the coaching staff accountable, talking about just needing to be better, feeling like, we improved in some areas, there's no doubt about it, but clearly the product isn't where it was. This September was as rough as we've seen really in recent Red Sox history, resembling 2011 or 2012. Where do you kind of hang your hat on that? Is it, obviously Casas went down, you have some young kids playing, or was it just running out of bullets after, stretching it like you did across the summer?
Actually, I feel, Tyler, that we pitched better than what people give us credit in September. We push some of these guys to go deeper into the game. I remember that game against the Yankees, right, with Tanner in the 6th inning with 2 outs, second and third. I went out there and I'm like, hey, man, can you get him out? He's like, absolutely. And he actually did. Cutter Crawford went 6 innings. The guy that actually struggled towards the end was Brian Bello. The turning point of the Rangers, their season, Adam Duvall hits a homer the last game of that series in Texas. We were up
3-run blast or whatever.
We were up 4-0 right away. Yeah. And then Bello was off that day. And Heim hit a homer. It was in a changeup with first and second. I think it was 2 outs. Hit a homer. It's 4-3. Then after that, we got crushed. And that was the game, kind of like it turns their season around. Their kids were coming back from injuries. they were actually like sleepwalking, to be honest with you. The facility, the stadium there, whatever you want to call it, it was kind of like dead. The 3 days that we play there, and that game kind of like put them in a good spot. And then after that, they start playing good baseball. But I do believe we made some strides pitching wise. Offensively, we struggle. You go back actually to they threw me out in that game in New York, right when we were about to sweep, and I got thrown out. And I'm actually in my office. It was a 2-strike count to Glaber. Pivetta was on the mound, and I jump in the shower. Didn't know whatever. We're good. Come back, I look up, tie game. I'm like, what the frig is going on here? And I think that was a homer. No, he hit a home run to right center. Somebody else hit a poolside homer, and Jaron got hurt. Right?
Climbing the wall.
The wall. After New York, it was the Astros, it was the Dodgers, it was the Astros. Everybody talks about the Houston game, right? That we ran out of pitching. I think we ran out of offense. And one of the reasons we ran out of offense was Jaron. Like we became one-dimensional. We needed to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Obviously, Abreu came in. He was good. But Jaron was kind of like carrying the offense, putting pressure on us, on the opposition, and we miss him. Offensively, like I said, it was a different team in September. There were some positives. Valdi was good. Abreu was good. We missed Casas, of course. JT was playing in one knee and one heel, to be honest with you. Rafi was taking walks, and it just didn't happen. But pitching-wise, that's the reason I'm optimistic, because during the conversation, I go back, Jared, you asked me what caught my attention with Bres. We talk about free agency, trades, all that stuff, and he's like, Alex, the other way we can improve is making our guys better. Whitlock needs to be better. Tanner Houck needs to be better. Crawford needs to be better. Winkowski needs to be better. Chris Sale needs to be better. Pivetta keeps. If they improve, we're in a good spot. And that's up to us now to get to that point. Obviously, we don't have a pitching coach yet, but I think the program is up and running. Actually, I'm going to go to Fort Myers next week. We got Winkowski, Crawford. Who else is down there? Sale. Then you got Tanner and Pivetta on the other side of the state in West Palm Beach. There's going to be a few hitters there. Wong, Reese, Rafaela. There's a chance that Trevor might go. We'll see. It's his birthday, so I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he wants to spend his birthday in Dallas or in Fort Myers. I don't know. I mean, like, if I was him, I'd spend it in Puerto Rico. So, yeah. But just make him better, and I do believe we're gonna be okay. There's a few things that we learned pitching wise in September that we're gonna take into the off season. We're gonna take into spring training. Hopefully, we can execute during the season. But it can't get worse, I guess. That's the way I see it.
Is that normal for guys that are that high profile of names on a big league roster to get together at a spring training facility in November?
I do believe so, especially the guys in Arizona. There's a lot of people that a lot of players, and they have their facilities right there. So in the case of Cutter, Wink, and Chris, they live in the area, so they work out there. We actually have we got, I want to say, like 60 minor leaguers working out at the complex right now. I think it needs to end soon because of their they got a CBA now, right? And there's a dead period, kind of like college baseball, that you have to stop working out with the organizations. But it should be fun. Some of the kids, the high profile prospects are working out there, so it'll be good just to see them, say hi to them, kind of like let them know, hey, we're here, we're paying attention. It's important for them.
I saw today on social media that it was kind of making the rounds of a quote you had in July, talking about, listen, farm system rankings are great. We understand the part it has in the game and all these different things, but we're here to win in October. That's what being, part of the Red Sox is about. yesterday, Craig Breslow offers kind of a similar message saying, hey, like, I'm not worried about those rankings. It's about getting better this offseason and us competing come opening day. Do you feel like that kind of mentality has changed, or it was viewed a little differently when you said those comments back in July ahead of the deadline, like almost a flip has been switched in some way?
I think the mentality has always been that way. It's just how we express it is a little bit different. And I went to Miami. I didn't go to Yale, so I probably will say it, more like straight up, kind of like without using all this, buzzword. I mean, like, these guys are amazing, But I'm glad that he said it. It sends a good message, not only for the fan base, but for the players and the people that grind on a daily basis. I'm a big believer that it's not only the players, it's the trainers and the clubbies and the ground crew people and the nannies that have to deal with my twins, every time they're in the family room. Like, this is not only about Chris Sale and Rafi Devers. This is about our family, the Red Sox family, that when you win a World Series, it's life-changing. Like, this is, from playoff shares to clubbies to giving a ring to people in the office. It means the world to them. And that's what we're trying to accomplish, and that's something that we've been trying to accomplish the last 5 years, since I've been here. It just hasn't happened. And I know people have a different view of the organization, especially the last few years, but I can tell you that, the effort was there. It just didn't happen for us.
Did I ever tell you what my rule is when you get ejected from games?
No.
When you get ejected from games, I shut the TV off and I have to consume the rest of the game on the radio.
Oh, that's sick. That's a good one. Yeah. I like it. Yeah, you know why? It's actually probably better, because when you go into the clubhouse, there's like a 30 or 45-second delay from the action. And, like, sometimes there's a big roar out there and you're like, what the freak happened here?
Happened? Yeah.
What happened? It was Glaber hitting a freaking homer or something, So I'll be good, have a tequila mule in the clubhouse and just listen to the game. The problem is that with getting thrown out, if you get thrown out too early, then when you have to talk to the media, you're going to be very angry, or it might become very sloppy, the answers, because you're so relaxed,
right.
After the fact. So, one thing I do believe I'm going to get thrown out a little more next year.
There you go.
Yeah.
We need to see more of that. Do you have a favorite ejection?
Yeah. Well, you heard about the one in Kansas City, right? So in Kansas City, there was a ball Salvi hit down the line this is in 22. Right after the trading deadline, actually, game one after the Houston series.
This was when Whitlock gave up the walk-off homer?
That was a tough one.
Yeah.
Bro, come on, man. Like,
I'm just saying,
uncalled for.
I'm just saying, hey, is that the same series we're talking about?
Yeah, that's the same series. Yeah, that homer, put us in and then so whatever. Let's go back to Salvi. Hits the ball. There's a foul pole and there's a padding like right next to it. As you know, in Kansas City, it's like that. And the ball was foul ball. They call it a homer. I forgot who the umpire was. And I go out there. We challenge. Boom. Call stands. And I go out there. I told the umpire, look at the replay. It's a foul ball. And he's like, I know. There's nothing I can do. It comes from New York. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And I really don't want to get thrown out of this game, So I'm just gonna act like I'm really mad, and then I'm gonna go to the dugout. He's like, "What you said?" I said, "I don't want to get thrown out of the game." He's like, "You're gone." I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "You told me that you want to get thrown out of the game." I say, "No way, no." And I'm acting like I'm actually mad at him, but I'm actually talking. I say the opposite. No way. I don't want to get thrown out of the game. Who cares? Like, it really doesn't matter right now. And I just kept going. So yeah, that was kind of like it was the best one because I never been in a situation like that.
Right.
game one of the ALCS in 18, freak it, like 3-2 count is a ball, and strike out Benny Verlander on the mound. I should get thrown out, and honestly, on there was a pitch to JD. We all talk about the Castro pitch, right? The Ovaldi strike three
Last Diaz.
last
Never
Diaz.
forget.
But the pitch on JD in the fourth inning, I think it was, is a 3-2 pitch away. He's called a strike. Actually, Martin Maldonado, his reaction was like priceless. Like he was like, "What?" Like, oh God, yeah, hell yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah.
But it was going to be Mena first and second, one out, and Doogie was coming up, and Doogie was saying bat well. I think going back to that one, get thrown out of that one. But I'll be more aggressive next year. I promise you.
Is it really as simple as if you want to, you can go up to an umpire and be like, just fucking toss me, dude?
Not really. And this is why. We were playing Winter Bowl here on a Sunday. This is back in 2002, 2003. Doubleheader. 1 o'clock game here, hot, turf. It's probably 90 degrees, We out there, first at bat, boom, boom. I get banged on a bad pitch. I start arguing. And the umpire goes like, "You ain't going nowhere. We're playing two, and you're going to stay here with me the whole freaking afternoon." I'm like, "No freaking way." And I start going at it. He's like, "Nope, you stay with me right here." So it's up to them, to be honest with you. What a tough job, to be honest. I mean, I was watching the playoffs, and just everything that we're doing for the fans, right? Putting the box and having the overhead camera it's tough, man. And the velocity and the movement of the pitches. And it's such a fast game right now that, it's just a very challenging game for us. Imagine for the umpires, but they actually do a good job. I will hate to take the arguments out of the game because when we go to the automated strike zone, that's what's going to happen, right? But it's always good for the fan base, for the fans, to see a player argue, a coach or a manager do that. I think it's been going on for a while, and hopefully we don't miss that part.
Yeah, that's I say that all the time. Like, I'll bitch and moan about balls and strikes, but at the same time, that's one of my favorite things about being a baseball fan is knowing that they got the call wrong and bitching about it. It makes me feel good to know that I still care that much. And if we have robotic umps, then I'm just not going to have that anymore.
Yeah.
But for you, sort of towards the end of last season, there was a lot of talk about, is Alex Cora going to move into the front office and this and that? And now we know that's not the case, at least for 2024. Do you even have like a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan? Because I know that you don't want to manage forever, but I don't think that you're never going to be able to walk away from the game of baseball. That's just like not something that I can ever see you doing. Do you have sort of like a long-term plan, or are you just going with the flow and taking it year by year to see what opportunities present themselves?
No, as of right now, where we at, and I talk we as a family, right? With our commitment with the Red Sox, we still have one more year. And then, do we want to stay with the Red Sox and have the kids going to school up there at one point, all that? Of course, we would love it. But I think all depends. That group is very important. And then there's 6 now. It's just one of those that right now I'm enjoying to go to the ballpark, to see them play T-ball. Right now our schedule is very heavy. Mondays, Wednesdays, soccer. Tuesday, Thursdays is T-ball. Fridays a soccer match. Saturday's a baseball game. So that part is going to make it tough, with time. Can they do that in the States? Of course they can do it. But we like it here. We like to be around our family and all that. So, as of now, this is all we have. Like you said, I will. This is what I do. I don't know. I'm a dad and I'm a baseball guy, so just try to maximize everything right now. Enjoy the experience and see what the future holds. One thing that is going to make it better is to win a lot of games next year, more than 78. That'll be cool. And that'll be awesome.
Be sick.
But
I love that.
That'll be sick. Put it that way. And if we can do that as soon as possible, right? It'll be better, right? To win 78 games right away, boom, and be like, oh, okay, here we go.
That was like mid-June in 18.
You imagine? Whew, that's sick. We did a good job too in 21. We were like fast out of the blocks. We were good. Yeah. But to answer your question, do this year, see what the future holds, and I still want to manage. I do believe the front office part is a cool gig. We all been GMs, right? Growing up, and right now we have all the answers, right? Not only for the Red Sox, but for every team in the big leagues. How about this guy here, this guy there, boom, boom, boom. We enjoy that. That's what we do as friends, right? Like I got people that come here to my house and they're telling me what we need to do. I'm like, oh, please, no. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, please zip it. I don't want to talk about it. But there's something about being a GM and being a baseball fan that is always fun. So, I'm 48. I'm still young. I'm actually feeling a lot better than during the season. The other day I looked, bro. My mom told me the other day, she's like, yeah, Alex, you gained so much weight this season. And I'm like, so how come you didn't tell me that? Like pick up the phone and tell me to get going, that you look fat on TV. And I look at the picture, bro. I'm like, man, now I'm like, I got into this program. It's called From the Couch to 5K. And I'm about to finish it like I got 3 more runs to get to 5K. So I'm running. And then the next day I'm doing the Peloton. I'm back. I'm like back, I was like, bro, man, like, this is awful. I was telling Tommy, like, this is tight, like, no, you're fat. It's the uniform didn't get smaller. You got bigger, dude. That's the bottom line. So, you'll have a better manager next year in a sense, like, I mean, that's the goal. And, as long as I'm healthy, and I have the passion to do this, we'll keep doing it, and, hopefully it's in Boston. This is a place that I really enjoy. People give me my space to be me, which is the most important thing. That's the reason we're talking, right? Like, this is me. This is not fake. This is the way we do it. So I'm just glad that we're doing it in the best city in the States, and hopefully we can do it for a long, long time.
So, I mean, I have to ask, because I know he's very new to the job, but has there been any type of indication that we're going to talk extension? Like, hey, just let you know, like, I just started. We got other things, like Yamamoto just got posted. Let me make some calls, but we'll take care of you after. Has there been anything like that?
Let's keep talking about players, man. It's all about the players. Yeah. Forget about AC. He's going to be okay. He'll be fine. Okay. I can be as patient as patient as counsel. No, never mind. I'm just joking.
That's crazy. But, that dude got fucking paid. I mean, like, if that type of money is out there for managers, I mean, I'd be pretty tempted to see, what's up, John?
You have a ring too. That adds into the conversation there, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Hey, no, but it's all about the players right now. It's all about the coaching staff. We made some tough decisions the last few weeks. Carlos gone, Bushy gone. Happy for Carlos. We're gonna see him at least 9 times this season. And the one thing I told him, make sure you have your passport, bro, because sometimes he loses his passport out of nowhere. And there was one series he didn't make it. He didn't make it to Toronto this year. So if he loses his passport, he ain't going to work,
No.
So just happy for him, but we got to kick his ass. We got to do that.
Have to. Last one from me. How do we get PD on this coaching staff? I've been asking him. I know he's got the itch. I feel like we're at the point in the progression from player to coach with Dustin Pedroia. I feel like we're at the point where it's Kelly's call.
No, not yet. He's not there yet.
We're within like a 3-year range. Like we're in the red zone.
That sounds tempting. 3 years.
Because he's talking about not 1, not 2, not 3. Like he's like, hey, if I'm gonna be doing this full-time coaching job, like we're gonna be winning multiple championships. Like that's where his mindset's at right now. So
that's where my mindset was in 18, and then reality struck. I was like, oh, it's not this easy. It's not that easy.
No, Tyler.
We'll see. We need him more than 3 days in Fort Myers this year. Like the thing with this, and this is something I talked to, Mitch Moreland, Brock Holt. I have talked to PD about it, and I think PD has done an outstanding job. First of all, getting healthy, which is the most important thing, and then enjoying life. Like when you play, and you guys know players. Alex Bregman right now, he's already working out. And he just finished his season, 2 weeks ago. There's no offseason anymore, because where we at talent-wise in this game, if you take 3 or 4 weeks from your craft, you're not going to be as good as the next guy, and you have to continue and keep going. And you do it for 10 years, and that's it. Then you have to enjoy life. Go travel the world, be a dad, detach yourself from the game, which is the most important thing. And then after that, what do you want to do? What do you really want to do? I had the luxury of going to ESPN and see the game from that chair, right? From the green room, being surrounded by ex-GMs, ex-managers, people, from all over the industry. And they opened my eyes as like, oh, shoot, I thought I knew about managing or running a team or being a front office guy. I was wrong. Without the 5 years in ESPN, I don't become a manager because I had no idea. And that's something I've been telling these guys, like hopefully 1 or 2 of them, they can jump into the organization and become advisors and kind of like going to Worcester for 3 days and talk to the pitching coach and, go to Fort Myers, go to the academy in the Dominican and get to know everything about the game and then make the decision. Do I want to be a manager? Do I want to be a hitting coach? Do I want to be a front office guy? And if you do it that way, you're going to be in a good position. That's what Will did. Will Venable, world champion Will Venable.
Yeah.
And turned down, interviews. He said, no, I'm comfortable here. But he started with the Cubs, then decided, you know what? I want to be on the field. He coached. He came to the Sox. He went to the Rangers. It's been very successful.
He's a good dude. I enjoyed talking to him in the dugout.
Smart kid.
Yeah, very polite too. Though I forgot.
Good basketball player. He was a good basketball player.
Was he? I
forgot. He played at Princeton. Yeah.
In the NBA, the game can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, DraftKings Sportsbook has your back. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub. Celtics played the 76ers tonight. I think they were -2.5. They lost that, unfortunately, but bunch of other games out there. You got the Bucks at -3.5 against the Pacers, Hawks -2.5 against the Magic. Ton of good action out there. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jared. New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Jared. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. Please play responsibly. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. Must be 21 or older in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
I forgot to ask you this. One of the funniest clips of the entire season, Justin Verlander, when he said, fuck off, Alex.
I got a text. Apology text.
Apology? I feel like, are you guys not like buddy? Like, I feel like that was like was it not joking?
I didn't even see it, to be honest with you. So the whole thing was PitchCom, right?
Yes.
We've done it too, like,
yeah, it's gamesmanship.
Can't hear it. I'm like, what do you mean he can't hear it? He shook off 5 times, and that's why he goes, fuck off. And I turn around. Did we won that game? I don't know if we won that game. I know we split that series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. That was the last time we were good.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the end of that series in Houston.
Yeah. Oh, well. But then he texts me, hey, AC, heat of the battle. And I'm like, bro, you're good, man. Like, who cares? Like, let's go.
Yeah, like it was
Let's
funny.
go.
Like I would be the first person to get fired up and come at someone if I thought it was malicious, but that's not the impression that I got.
Yeah. But he shook off 5 times, and all of a sudden he's like, I can't hear. I'm like, I can't hear. Come on. Even Nate, who's like the nicest guy in the world, he's playing the game with the PitchCom like in the World Series. Like, I can't.
That's
good
the
story
guy.
about Nate. You like this one. So I'm in Boston for Game 5, right? That's when they won. And during the day, I had the chance to go see the Celtics. Who they play that day? They demolished somebody. They won by like 56 that day. I forgot who it was. So I text him. I said, Pacers, yeah. So I text him. I say, I have the choice of going to the Garden or watching you on TV. What do you think I should do? And he texts me, I won't be mad at you. Kind of like saying, I won't be mad at you if you go to the Celtics. And I go, well, I can watch the game on the phone. And he's like, yes. So I stay home, watch it. I really want to see him pitch and kind of like win it. And they won, whatever. The next day, I waited till noon, and I text him. I say, I didn't go to the Garden. And, he texts me back, like, you're the man. I appreciate that, whatever. What a special dude, man. I mean,
he's a one-of-one. Like, he is an absolute horse.
He had nothing that day. Nothing. Like, no command, no nothing. And then he goes 6, like, what a dude. What a
lot
dude.
Of traffic.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Oof, a lot of traffic.
Pitched out of jams, no damage, didn't have his best velo. And that's just Nate. Like that's why he's that dude.
Yeah.
He also
he actually,
you gotta hit him up about the Peloton. If you wanna get in on the Peloton game, like he's the kingpin of Peloton.
Yeah. I'll try Christian too, but I think Christian is fake.
Yeah. I don't know how much Peloton he's doing.
He's on a mission too. He went to Driveline. You saw that? His video?
No.
He went up there, boom, trying to get this one going again.
Okay.
Yeah. Frustrating year for him, but he'll bounce back. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he's a winner. He's a natural born winner.
He is.
Tyler?
Just on the Raffy front, you kind of mentioned it earlier being a down year for him. And, speaking of that Houston series, I think that was the most, and, a down year for Rafael Devers. He's a Silver Slugger finalist, like, speaks to who the guy is. But there was a moment in that Houston series where, as the errors were piling up, he goes in the dugout. It looks as frustrated as I've ever seen him. It kind of felt like that moment where Xander or JD in past years would have put their arm around him and, kind of get him walked back in. What do you kind of attribute to this year for Rafi when you look at it? Do you think it was just growing into being that guy here and realizing the ups and downs that come with it, or was it other stuff?
I believe those 2 weeks put him in a bad spot. He was coming from a great series in New York. And finally, I felt going into the Houston series, understanding that what they were going to try to do, and we all know what they do. They throw in fastballs up in the zone. I was like, he's going to get him. He's going to get him. The first at-bat of that series, I think he had a 3-2 count, and they threw him a changeup, and he popped it up. And from that pitch on, it just went very fast to him. Then we played defense. Pax was on the mound, if I'm not mistaken. He made 2 errors, and it was the fastest I see him on the field as far as like the mental aspect. He wanted to bite his glove off. He was slamming the helmet. He was slamming the bat. And I talked to him. I said, bro, like, I get it, but you're still Rafi Devers. You know, like, game planning is around you. You take your walks. You will make errors. You just have to stay calm, kind of like the same way you were calm in New York, but it didn't happen. That's another guy that I do believe he's going to take it to another level. We made a slight adjustment right around that time that it just put him in a different spot, and he was able to get back to hitting the ball the other way. He saw the ball better. He was able to catch up with fastballs. I think he hit him okay. The Astros when they came to Fenway, and that's another guy that usually his workout starts first week of December. He's already in week 2 of his workouts, you know, and understanding that his contract starts now. It starts now. And there's something that comes with the territory of $30 million. It's more than 30. It's more than 100 RBIs. Is the leadership factor. He's leading by example. Is something he does well. He posts. You know, he wants to play. But I think now he understands, especially with, like you said, the horrible month of September. He hates losing, man. He just like, he got called up in 17. He demolished the opposition. He made it to the playoffs. The next year, he makes it to the playoffs, and we win the World Series, and he was a big part of what we did. You know, obviously struggling. Well, he had a great season in 19. We didn't make it to the playoffs, but he hates losing, and it's becoming something that is driving him in the right direction. You know, he's not taking it the other way. And with that adjustment and another year under his belt as far as like game planning against him, I think you're going to see the best version of Rafi next year.
Switching over to Alex Verdugo, and I think, you know, at the end of 2022, we heard you, you know, clearly just really speaking on it, saying, you know, I'm expecting more from him. I'm kind of challenging him. He shows up, and I think Alex Verdugo was the story of the Red Sox through June this year. Obviously, a couple benchings come in. I think we saw you as arguably as angry as a manager, you know, in a presser post-game when the whole situation happened in August. You've had a month to kind of reflect on his season as a whole. How do you feel like he lived up to that challenge? How do you kind of look back at his entire 2023 season? And, you know, we hear today, Breslow acknowledges teams are calling. His future is obviously up in the air a bit. Just how do you kind of look at it all?
We need to be better against lefties. And this is a guy that coming up with the Dodgers, and when he got to the Red Sox, he was able to handle lefties. And for some reason, last season was bad in that aspect. I think in 22 was okay. 21, at one point we were platooning him. So we need him to be better against lefties. Defensively, I tip my hat to my hat to him because we challenge him to be better. And he didn't win the Gold Glove, but he was a lot better than what he was in the previous year. Obviously, playing the position the whole time helps him, kind of like in 21 playing left field. At halfway through the season, he became one of the best I've seen playing the wall at Fenway Park, better than Manny, because Manny was really good at holding the batter running to first base. Benny was good, but Verdugo was elite. And the other part that I do believe we have to push him, and we talk about it towards the end of the season, is the running game. You know, like he scores from first, he scores from second, but he's kind of like gun shy to steal bases. And this probably goes back to when he got thrown out in game 6 of the ALCS. You know, Travis, he swings and miss 3-2, great minus on the mound. Martin made a great throw. They got him out at second. The guy was he was a 1-6, 1-7. Doogie should have walked to second base, but he didn't get a good job. And he talks about it. He hates getting thrown out. And this is something that us as coaches, we have to push him. We have to push him to steal more than 10 bases. You know, where we are in the environment that we're playing now, the running game is huge. And if we can get 15 bags or 20 bags from Alex Verdugo, he'll be great. The power numbers, he got cut up. And this happens every year. He's hitting a lot of doubles. He's running into a few homers. He doesn't hit homers for like a month. He gets frustrated. He tries to hit homers. He gets out of whack offensively. The average goes down. Then he gets back to it. He hits a few homers, and then the season keeps going. So I don't know. Overall, he'll tell you disappointed with his season. From my end, we made some strides in certain aspects of the game, but the one I really want is for him to get back to hitting lefties. If he can do that, we're going to be in a better spot.
And lastly, Wilyer Abreu, I think it seemed like everyone, and you spoke about him in spring training, you know, you were a little ahead of the curve on this, but everyone was kind of impressed by the plate approach, how he carried himself as a big leaguer. You know, we've talked about that Houston series, showed up in a major way. We saw that power really play up. Do you think he's going to have a significant role? Obviously, the roster's still coming together here, but is he maybe a name that people aren't talking about enough, or at least weren't talking about it enough before he came up?
I see him as a legit big league hitter. This guy, the way he controls the strike zone is elite. And this is something that they do an outstanding job in Houston, from the Dominican League all the way to the big leagues, is control the strike zone, control the strike zone. We talk about swing decisions. Yeah, that's great, but he swings at the right ones. He takes the ones that he needs to take. And the ones that he swings, he hits hard. I don't think he didn't play too many games at Fenway. And this is something that, with all due respect to the people in Worcester, like the whole wall in right field instead of being in left field is kind of productive for us. Like we want guys that when they come to Fenway, lefties, they know what they need to do to get to the wall. And, down there's a lot of homers, pull side homers. And when they get to Fenway, you pull the ball in the air to right field, you better be Rafi Devers. If not, it's a fly ball to right field. Like I call them, empty fly balls. So hopefully in spring training, like we said, with lefties taking batting practice at JetBlue Park, using the wall, going that way, I think he's going to benefit from that because he's going to see the ball longer. And when you do that as a hitter, you're going to be a lot better. The other thing is they just had a baby, so they had to stay in Boston until the end of October. So for our trainers, to be around him in a quiet environment, right? Not the noise, just, Abreu and Bernie. He's a Bostonian now. He lives up there, which is awesome. I love it. JT is another guy that he's been around and working out at Fenway. Just for our staff to get to know him is important because now he'll go to spring training and he'll feel very comfortable with everybody. And that's what we try to do. You heard Bochy a few weeks ago when they won. Was the key of all this? Well, make your players to feel comfortable. And after that, they do what they do.
Yo, Bernardino's the man. I'm not going to give away where he lives, but one of the nurses that was taking care of my grandmother, because she knew that I was like a Red Sox fan. She was like, there's a Red Sox player that lives in my building. And I was like, who? And she was like, I was like going through like Instagram, like showing her pictures. I was like, this guy finally landed on Bernardino. She's like, that's him. He came over to my apartment and asked, because he has a kid too, right, AC?
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, I would like, if you're okay with it, I would love to take your son to the Patriots game. And she was like, what? Really? And like the kid was all excited. So like he took his son and her son to a Patriots game. Like he's just like living in the Boston area and like taking like young Patriots fans to their first Patriots games. Yeah, it was really cool.
He's awesome. He's a good guy. What a great story too. You know, a grinder playing in Mexico all these years and independent baseball. And all of a sudden he became, at one point, he was our ace, you know, our opener. Remember? Yeah. Like,
yes. Yeah, he was piggybacking with Pavetta. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, with Nicky P.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the guy. That's my guy.
He's a dude. Jake, do you have anything for our manager before we let him get back to his family life?
Yeah, AC, first of all, loved your work on the Clark's Catch-Up Series MVP panel this year. A lot of people were calling in telling us, look, you got the manager, the team voting on these. Shouldn't his vote count for 2 or maybe even 1.5?
1.5, yeah.
Or less.
So my question would be, do you think your vote should be weighted more heavily than, like, let's just say some idiot like Tyler?
No.
Unneeded.
Let's keep it. Let's keep it the way it is. Let's keep it. Hopefully, I can vote a little bit more next year instead of the 5 series that we voted in 23.
Yeah, and let's get you on more next year. Let's get you paid, and let's get you on more next year. Yeah,
the pay part. That's tempting.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you might not need it if managers are making $40 million now. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But until you get that extension, yeah, we'll throw you some crumbs.
Let's win some ball games. You know, hey, let's do this again in spring training. Let's do it down there.
Well, I'll probably see you at Winter Weekend in January.
You better be there.
I mean, I'll be. I don't know if I'm invited back after some of the questions that I asked, but I would love to do it if they'll have me.
That'll be good. Springfield, right? We're gonna do it in the same spot. I think it is.
Yeah. It's fucking outrageous. Like, I remember the first year that they did it there. JD Martinez flew in from Fort Lauderdale, and he's like, can I Uber to this place? And I was like, bro, what? He's like, you're at Logan and you want to Uber to Springfield? Like, good luck, dude. Yeah, no, it's a hike. It's a hike to get to that casino, but it's a fun time. I think it is. I've been there every single year except for the very first one that they ever did. But yeah, no, it's a good time. Hopefully fans are less mad this time.
Hopefully it's a lot better.
Yeah. Alex Cora, my manager of the Boston Red Sox. Thank you for taking as much time as you did with us today.
No worries, man. Thank you. Keep doing a good job.
Wow. Big thanks to our manager, Alex Cora. Over an hour with Alex Cora today.
Didn't feel like it at all.
No. And, I think we did. Will Fleming was probably like an hour and a half. Loomer was like pushing 2 hours. You got like an hour and 15 with AC. A little birdie actually told me that there's a guest next week that's on the voting panel as well.
Oh, have they ever done any kind of podcast with you before?
No, it's first time. Yeah.
Sounds like we're kind of delivering this offseason.
It sounds like we just said, you know what? The season's over. The vibes were terrible. Let's do something about it. Let's change it up. Let's give something people to be excited about. Well, Craig's cooking. So are we. That's what we're trying to do. Every week. And then the following week would be Thanksgiving week. Right?
I believe so.
I mean, I feel like it's only appropriate to have Friendsgiving with Brock Holt.
Oh, is this confirmed or is this a hopeful theory?
What the fuck is he doing?
Brock's never gonna say no to you. Let's be real.
we talk. I don't want to say almost every day, but like multiple times a week. Like he is not not doing a lot. He's exercising. He's being a dad. He's being a husband. But he listens to the podcast. I just he texted me on Friday a screenshot of his car stereo.
Oh, he's
Listening
definitely Milliken Militia. He's Milliken Militia material.
No,
definitely. I can see it. I can hear it.
No.
B-Dog, if you're listening to this episode right now, just hit me up.
He's probably listening, but there's no way he likes you. There's no way.
B-Dog, you got
Jake,
my number.
Do you think Brock Holt likes Tyler?
Probably can't stand him.
Can't stand your ass.
Listen, if he's talking to you every week, how do you know we're not talking?
I mean, well,
did you send him condolences? He put his name in the running for the CBO position.
Oh, well, he's probably still going to get some sort of high-ranking front office job.
Part of the hiring process, as we know, they asked Brock Holt.
Yeah. Well, maybe he just said, well, because I offered him the opportunity to live in my house, and he declined.
Oh, yeah. I wish I had the offer instead of, being publicly denied in front of everyone. Why?
Yeah. Why?
Yes. You don't have room for me in that big house?
I didn't say I didn't have room for you.
No, that's exactly what you said, actually.
What did I say?
Hold on. Let me pull it up here.
Pull it up.
I asked was to be adopted. Okay. No, definitely not. The worst thing Twitter ever did was make the replies. I'm never going to find this. We're cooked. All I'm saying is, and there are a lot of people who saw this happen on the timeline, I just asked to be adopted. I said we could be a family. No, I don't have room in my house for that. Oh, I found it. Bad day for J-Dog. It was the whole Bloom thing turning down the Marlins. You go, families are so in right now. Mm-hmm. And I said, hey, if you adopt me, we could be family. You said, I don't have enough space in my house for all that. And then I posted the Drewski video.
So you took that as like a fat joke?
Oh, how else am I supposed to take it? Is it a round joke?
I mean,
I have a lot of things in my house. Sorry.
Yeah.
Baseball may be finished, but there's a new season to be happy about, the holidays. And the beer that was made perfect for baseball is also the perfect match for a brighter holiday. From its bold, refreshing flavor to its beautiful, bright color, Blue Moon Belgian White Belgian-style wheat ale is made brighter for the holidays. I bet every single time AC was submitting his Clark's Ketchup Series MVP for this year, he was probably drinking a Blue Moon because he was thinking, damn, I can't believe my vote counts as much as this idiot Tyler Milliken. But he used those Blue Moons to power right through, and that's what makes him one of the best managers in the game. And I bet, just like us, for holiday gatherings, he's breaking out the bright stuff. Blue Moon Brewing Company beers are made brighter as the perfect complement to the holiday season. From Blue Moon Belgian White's refreshing flavor, to Light Sky's real tangerine peel taste, to Moon Haze's juicy burst of flavor, the whole crowd will be reaching for the bright stuff this holiday. With its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian White Belgian-style wheat ale is a beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. The season should be merry and bright, so Blue Moon is a perfect match for the holidays. The crack of a beer, the pour, the first sip of that bold flavor, Blue Moon always feels like a special occasion. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful, bright color, a beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all through the holidays. Brighten up the holidays with the beer that's made brighter. Get Blue Moon Belgian White Belgian-style wheat ale, Light Sky, and Moon Haze delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared for delivery options. That's get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale.
I don't know if you heard on 98.5 The Sports Hub today, but I'm having a baby.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's what, yeah, you didn't hear that?
No. What program was this on?
Felger and Maz.
Of course. They get the exclusive. You wouldn't even give it to me?
Someone called into Felger and Maz and said, by the way, Jared Carabas is having a baby. And immediately I got like 20 friggin' text messages from people ranging from all corners of my life. And they were asking me if, some of them weren't even asking. Some of them were just straight up texting me, congratulations.
Hit the applause sound on the soundboard, please, Jared.
Suck on it.
Oh, come on.
What?
I'd like to be the godfather.
Of my baby?
Of your newborn child, or soon to be coming. I don't know how.
Well, here's the thing. I'm actually not. I'm not having a baby. I'm not having a baby.
Where did this rumor come from?
I was on the Kirk Minahan show this morning, and we were talking about how, I want to settle down, do the family thing. And we were talking because Ryan Whitney was a guest on Kirk's show like a week ago, and he's having his third child, and him and his wife are doing like night nurses or a night nurse. So we just started talking about like, are you into that? And some people are just like, I want to be completely hands-on with my baby and whatever. And we, then that just evolved into Jared's having a baby, and I'm not having a baby.
All I'm saying is, Jake, feel free to take part in this. I don't want to leave you out here.
Mhm.
We could all have kids at the same time. And a lot of people tell me I would be a very good father. I have dad vibes, papa vibes. We could have our kids all play Little League together.
You want to do like a pregnancy pact?
Sure, why not?
My kid
They're totally in.
Smoke your kid in baseball.
Fuck no.
Yes.
Fuck
yes.
no.
Yes.
My kid's going to be a big body, bruh.
Yeah, but like he's not going to be athletic.
Have you seen me?
Have you?
I am one of the sneakiest fat guys you've ever... Or wait, excuse me. Sneakiest fast fat guys you've ever seen. I'm not sneaky fat. That was not what I was trying to say.
No.
But you're talking to a travel team soccer goalie,
Mhm.
a former, backup middle school catcher. There was a lot of little things I had on my.
You didn't play? Did you play baseball in high school?
I chose at that time to go a different path. I was pursuing journalism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't even try out. Dealing with a number of injuries at the time. You know how it goes.
Like, what was it?
I had a thumb bruise from, about a year ago before that
How'd you do
happened.
that?
And it's really catching.
And,
it really didn't bounce back. You probably can't see it. My thumb's a little deformed.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to hang it up, sadly.
That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
Hey, man, injuries are just part of the game. And sometimes you're just thankful for what the game gave you.
Sure. You see, I did an interview today.
About the podcast?
It was about a few things. It wasn't just about the podcast. I talked about the podcast in there.
You mentioned me?
I did.
Aw. I hope it's in a positive light.
It's Beyond the Monster.
Oh, yes. They do some great content over there.
Did the interview with Zach. 162 Zach. I'll give him a shout out, even though he's more of an ITM guy.
Oh.
Don't love that.
Jesus. Bad taste,
I
but
think
we'll accept it.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's okay. I'm fine with that.
Hey, listen, it's a lot of people are wrong in life.
Somebody's got to listen to it.
Someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me see. There's a part where I talked about both you guys. It's kind of like a... Okay, here it is. The question was, will you always be heavily involved with the Sox, in parentheses, podcasting, tweeting, Nesson, in some capacity? And I said, absolutely not. I hate doing the podcast with Tyler Milliken. The second that I've made enough money, I'm going to retire and never speak to him again, and I will block him on all social media.
Cut that out, Jake. Restart again, and it better be positive. What'd you say about Jake, though? I bet what you wrote about Jake was glowing.
Yeah. I said, always. I can never shut that off. It's who I've always been. I think the goal is to one day not have to be dependent on having such a heavy work schedule like I do now. But I just also understand that we all have a shelf life in this industry. So I'm willing to put everything I have into this while the fans still want it and while I'm young enough to do it. But eventually, I'd like to settle down, get married, have a family, and all of that. I'm just not sure I'll ever be able to truly scale back because I love what I do so much. I can't wait. I can't walk away from this until we have a Section 10 reunion at some point. I also just love working with Tyler Milliken and Jake Yazzie too much to think about a world where we're not talking about the Red Sox together.
That's beautiful. That's a very big little thing. And I think you've mentioned it on the subreddit at times, but talking about a Section 10 reunion at some point as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will appreciate that. That means a lot to them.
Well, yeah, I think it's like it's a nostalgia thing for a lot of fans, but I think it's also like, imagine it's kind of like Jordan coming back to the NBA when he was still in his prime. It's like, it wouldn't be like, oh, your favorite band got back together, but they're 67 years old and they don't look and sound the same and they don't play the same, like, instrumentally. It's like, oh, like they could get back together, but like it's still like they're still in their primes of their careers.
Yeah, they're still cooking.
Yeah.
I could see it. That makes a lot of sense. Just when it lines up, right? As you've said, it has to line up in a lot of other places before it happens.
A lot of stars have to align. But it is obviously something that I want. I want for me. I want for the fans of Section 10. I want for you guys. I mean, Jake was a part of Section 10. Very briefly, but he was there.
Last 5 months.
The last 5 months of Section 10, Jake was on the ones and twos. So Tyler is really the only fucking loser that hasn't experienced it.
Oh, sorry you didn't care about me or, ever think of me before then.
No, I did. I just didn't like you.
I remember these moments too. I'd screenshot the tweets when I'd post videos and you'd obviously, posting videos, highlights or whatever. And it was before you even followed me. I remember you posted one of the videos, home run or whatever. I screen capped it, sent it to a couple of my friends. I was like, look at this. I got acknowledged. I got acknowledged by Jared Carabas. And it was a big deal at the time. I got the follow, eventually at some point. But listen, I was one of those young kids who grew up on Section 10.
There you go.
If you were to name your child, what would I have to do to get naming rights?
I'm naming my child Carlos. I've already decided that.
That could be the second one.
Carlos Carabas.
It hits, but that could be number 2. You're going to have multiple.
I don't know. Probably not.
Don't you want a team? A little 5-on-5? I'm going to pop 12 or 13.
Jesus Christ.
I sex.
Does Martha know this? That you're planning on having over a dozen children?
She'd be open to it. Listen, during the old days, to have extra hands help around the house, it went a very long way. And these are trying times.
You're gonna have a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah. But if little Carlos is ever talking shit, I'm gonna send my little gang after him and we're gonna see what's good.
I mean, Carlos would beat the shit out of your kids. Like
12? I'm gonna send a pack of children after you?
They're all betas for the most part.
Jake, how many kids can we get out of you?
Not 12, probably.
Yeah.
6? Well, we can cut it in the middle.
I'll commit to 3 right now.
There you go. 3's a good number.
We're getting close to a full big league roster.
Mm-hmm.
Should we hit on our Red Sox topics we have for this week?
Yeah, they all suck. Go ahead.
It's been a long time since it's been just me and you. But
what do you mean?
I'll lay them out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because
we've had interviews.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
What, end of season or Breslow probably?
Yeah.
But yeah, just hitting on everything we have in front of us here. I'll name them. You tell me if you care to talk about it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big one everyone wants to hear about, the Red Sox, Jordan Montgomery's agent, they talked at the GM meetings, which are going on. Didn't mean a single thing to you?
Nope. Put it this way. The Red Sox are going to talk to every single big name free agent, whether they plan on making them an offer or not. That's just what goes on behind the scenes. This is just a formality. Like, if it gets to the point where it's like, hey, things are really heating up between the Red Sox and Jordan Montgomery, then we can have a discussion about where Jordan Montgomery fits, what we see contract wise, like what would your offer be? Like, then you can have that conversation. But right now on fucking November 8th, the fact that the Red Sox contacted his agent, no shit. They're going to contact the agent of go to MLBTradeRumors.com, pull up the fucking top 50 free agents. The Red Sox are contacting 48 of those agents. They just are. Like, that's how this works. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Until there's like actual smoke, then we can talk about Jordan Montgomery and where he fits. Because I like Jordan Montgomery. I'm just not going to get excited about an agent getting a fucking phone call. Like, no shit.
Yeah, I land in the same boat. I think the one way I would take it, or if you're trying to have a takeaway from it, the fact that it got put out there like that, when it comes to these things that pop up over the course of an offseason, it's usually 2 things. Is it coming from an agent trying to push people into, thinking the price is going up for a guy? Or is a team trying to say, hey, look at us, like, oh, everyone's talked the last couple of years and said we do nothing. Well, look, we're trying to do something. We're already trying to make some noise here. Here's something to nibble on so you guys stop making fun of the Craig Breslow press conference on radio, 2 times a week. That's kind of how I took it. And John Morosi had the report. I think the Red Sox had no problem saying, hey, look, we're starting this. We're doing something.
That's the takeaway, is there's something out there. Like, I listen, and I don't get credit for this, but I'm the one who started Interest Kings. That was me. Everyone uses it. I don't get credit for it. It's fine. But I don't want to hear Interest Kings, because, I mean, we went from Interest Kings to They're not even in any rumors anymore. I'm happy to be talked about. That's it. I'm happy to be talked about. Even if it is a formality thing, like, oh, they called Jordan Montgomery's agent. Great. Like, does that mean anything? No, not really. But like, I want to see Morosi and Rosenthal and Passan and Nightingale and Bowden. I want to see them all tweeting about the Red Sox. Tweet about them. Get those fucking tweets out.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the whole thing with it. And I will say for like Jordan Montgomery as a whole, I saw some people saying, well, you need to shoot higher. Guys, you need 2 starting pitchers, I think, at the top of this rotation.
3 guys.
You could make the argument for 3. I don't think that's crazy either.
And even with like a guy like Jordan Montgomery, I mean, he's not going to be your ace, or at least I would hope not.
He's a number 2. Or, you could argue he's a number 3.
Solid number 2. But how many of these guys that are out there are everyone has Nola either staying in Philly or going to the Cardinals. I've seen a lot of fans saying that they don't want Blake Snell, which I get. You need a guy at the top of the rotation that's going to give you innings, and that's just never been him throughout his career. Doesn't mean he's not a good pitcher. He's going to win.
Walks 5 per 9 when all the Red Sox have talked for the last couple of years is throwing strikes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with the walks as long as the runs aren't scoring, which they aren't. But if you're going to spend big on an ace, I don't know that that's who I'm circling. I'd love to have him here, but not as the one. But you got to start somewhere. Like you have to start somewhere. And I know that everyone would be super excited to have Yamamoto, but I haven't seen him. Like, I know the Red Sox are going to be in on him. I haven't seen anyone predict that he's coming here. Like,
I've seen a lot of Mets the last few days.
Yankees. Yeah. Giants. I haven't seen anyone be like, yep, I got him going to Boston. Like, things are getting hot and heavy over there in Boston with Yamamoto. I haven't seen any of that. But I mean, it's not going to happen, but.
Yeah, I do think it feels weird. Like the last couple off seasons, even though in the Hein Bloom era we saw those big signings not typically happening, the Red Sox were still being mentioned with big names, like in the predictions, right? Like, oh, I think the Red Sox will finally pay out and do this. I feel like they're kind of catching up now. Like after years of realizing all those predictions never hit, now they're like, oh, well, we're not going to attach the Red Sox as the winners for any of these players because we expect it to be like the last few years. I just don't think that's the case. And I look at Jordan Montgomery, him, Garrett Cole, and Kevin Gausman, the only pitchers with 30 plus starts and a sub-4 ERA in each of the past 3 seasons. Like you're talking about someone who could anchor your rotation. Last 3 seasons, 3.48 ERA, 3.62 FIP, 94 starts. Like he's old school. You're going to have a good defense. He's a sinker baller. We see how Brian Bayo gets eaten up with all that stuff. But if you're talking about someone who can just anchor you, can show up in the postseason. I think it's like a 2.69 ERA in the postseason and like 38 innings. Who stepped up for the Rangers when Nate Eovaldi and Max Scherzer got hurt this year down the stretch? It was him. If Nate Eovaldi wasn't one of the greatest postseason pitchers on the planet, everyone would have been talking about what Jordan Montgomery did for them this playoffs. So yeah, he should be the kind of guy you target for that number 2. He doesn't have a QO as well. So if you want to chase a Nola or, say you want Ohtani or maybe you're one of those Bellinger people, this is a way where you can get one of those guys and maybe still give up that QO pick and not feel as guilty about it. But I'm happy to see them in on a name like that because I want someone you can lock in for 30 starts. I want Brian Bayo to be my number 3. Then you have Chris Sale as your 4. And for your 5, you let, Pivetta, Houck, Crawford. I don't want to say Whitlock, but I think that kind of switches the conversation over to what we heard today. Breslow saying that Houck and Whitlock are being stretched out as starters. Did you hit the panic button like the rest of Red Sox Twitter did?
No, I didn't give a fuck.
Me either. I'm right in the same boat as you. I think people really freaking out are just freaking out because it's, there's nothing going on.
It's, it's just because they're talking about this in November does not mean that it is going to be a guaranteed thing by the time the season starts. Like, you can stretch them out right now, but if you want to, you can just put them in the fucking bullpen come spring training. Like, there's nothing to freak out about in November. They never freak out about something unless your star free agent signs elsewhere in November. Sure, you can freak about that because he's gone. But in terms of like rumors and whatever else, November is far too early to be freaking out about something like, oh, they're stretching out fucking Tanner Houck and Garrett Whitlock. Because, again, I don't want Garrett Whitlock in the rotation. I don't. But it's not something I'm going to work myself up over in November.
And I think the other thing is, right, when you talk about the optics of this situation, first off, they haven't landed any pitchers yet. So, say in a world where somehow they can't get any signings going, unfortunately, these would be the guys they'd lean on. But as we mapped out with the rotation there, at least 2 pitchers you need to sign. You want 3, Jared. There's only so many rotation spots. And when it comes to Houck and Whitlock, first off, if they're stretched out, it's easier to kind of bring them down than have to ramp them up with a bigger workload if it goes in that direction as the offseason goes. You can always scale them down. They're also both multi-inning relievers. I know people forget with Garrett Whitlock, but when Garrett Whitlock's great, he's pitching 2, sometimes 3 innings out of the bullpen. Whitlock excelled in that role. That's 2021 Whitlock. We see how they view Houck. So if those guys are in the bullpen, it's not like they're going from 5-inning guys to 1-inning guys. No, they still are going to have some length. That's what makes them the weapons they are. The other half of it is, if I told you Tanner Houck got traded this offseason, would anyone be shocked? No. And you'd say, all right, well, that's a guy there. If you call him a reliever, you're knocking his value down. You're telling other teams he's worth less if the Dodgers or the Guardians or, the Giants, a pitching lab, look at him and say, hey, we can get this guy to be what, you think he could be, a number 3 starter or something. Even you could say the same goes for Whitlock. His contract situation's a little different, but it just makes no sense to put those guys in those roles right now. They're not going to get hurt over the course of an offseason preparing to pitch 4 or 5 innings, especially in the month of November.
And you just don't know who's going to be here.
No idea.
In April? It's fucking November. The offseason just started. I've seen plenty of mock trade proposals going around, and obviously Tyler just mentioned Houck. I've seen some other names. I've seen some other names be mentioned in mock trade rumors. Wouldn't mind if they weren't in the organization anymore.
I did see that one.
Yeah, I mean, so you never know. You never know. It's way too early to start saying, where does this guy fit on the roster?
He's another one. Winkowski, like Cora at the end of the year was like,
I didn't say who I was talking about.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring his name up. The one that shall not be mentioned. Do you prefer that?
You can mention it. I'm just saying that's not who. I didn't necessarily indicate that that's who I was talking about.
Okay, but even Cora at the end of the year is like, oh, we might try him as a starter. We might try extending him. Breslow walked that back a little bit today, but like that's where you are at this point in the offseason. It just makes more sense to lessen the workload if it comes down to them being a multi-inning reliever than a starter.
Mm.
And Breslow did say, he's like, maybe we will tweak some things with Whitlock and Houck to see what their pitch mix and stuff looks like. And to me, go for it. Go fucking nuts. Maybe you unlock something. Whitlock needs to get back on track. Tanner Houck still hasn't developed the third pitch he needs. So good luck to you. Outside of that, we had, I'd follow this up with the Jordan Montgomery stuff. Scott Boras coming out and having his annual press conference at the GM meetings today, just saying, the Red Sox told him they intend to be aggressive in improving. It's the same shit, right? They're sending out those little messages to get people going.
I like it. Yeah.
Different than what we've had the last couple of years.
Still have to see it. But I mean, this is stuff that we weren't even, this is how pathetic we are. We weren't even getting this. We weren't even getting little itty bitty rumors about what the Red Sox intend to do. There was no intention. Like the last few off seasons, it's not even like, wow, man, like, the Red Sox are talking a pretty big game. Like they're talking about, they're going to spend some fucking money. They're going to be aggressive. Like there wasn't even that. So I don't even know why. I think we tricked ourselves into this whole Heim moves in silence and he lurks in the shadows. No, he didn't do anything. I love Heim as a guy. I do. But I did that to myself. I believed in how smart he was, and I believed in how badly he wanted to win. And those things are true. He is really smart. And I believe that he did want to win really badly. But I thought that those two things would equate to moves, action. Never happened. It never happened. And for years, we were just sitting there waiting, being like, oh, but yeah, Heim moves in silence. Like he's slicing and dicing and he's chopping it up and he's going to cut these big deals and he's going to swoop in and like that big free agent signing's coming. He's not going to do a stupid one. He's going to do a big one. And it's going to be a move that everyone's like, oh, fuck, can't believe the Red Sox did that. And then none of it happened. So the rumors didn't exist because nothing was happening. Now we're hearing full throttle, aggressive, all this shit. And that excites me.
Yeah, even I think some of the second base talk where it felt like Breslow,
I mean,
from
Whit
day to day-
Merrifield is coming here if they want Whit Merrifield. I'll just say that.
Whoa. Was that informed?
I know that like the fit makes too much sense. Like if they want Whit Merrifield, what is stopping that from happening?
And I think with Whit, where you get into the space, like Breslow said it today for those who didn't see, but they're looking for a right-handed bat at second base who has versatility. Well, you look at Whit, I think if you're being honest, the bat is what the bat is. I think it was a 94 OPS plus. That's not what you're looking for, right? Like the bat, at the end of the day, that's not why you're signing him. You're looking for the defense and I think more off the field stuff. And he was plus 4 outs above average at second base last year. If you're going to get Jordan Montgomery, that's the kind of guy you want up the middle to make sure that defense is held up. If you want Brian Bayo to maybe not get screwed over by ground ball, bad luck, and bad defense, another guy who plays into that. And probably someone, if Justin Turner does end up walking, you can say, hey, we got Whit in the clubhouse. It's not the same exact thing, but a respected guy who's been around the game a long time probably helps in that leadership department a little bit.
Yeah.
What's wrong, Jared?
I have jury duty tomorrow. Stress me out.
I've never actually been. They turned me down.
Yeah, I could see that.
Why? I'd be great. I'd cook.
I got put on a jury one time.
Like a serious one?
Nah, it was like a DUI.
Yeah, see, I want to be brought in on a serious case.
No, you don't, because it takes so much time. You get put on some cases. It's like, yeah, you want to go to serve on a jury every Friday for the next 6 months. Is that what you want?
No, and I will say, whoever picked you, it's really bad on that. I don't even know who does it, the judge or the courthouse. Like, you're a media personality. Isn't that supposed to be like a rule? You can't do it.
I don't know. I would love if that were a rule. I mean, the only time that I've got picked to be on a jury was 2011. So I hadn't popped yet.
Tomorrow's the day where they like have to decide if they want you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're coming home, big dog. They're not taking you. Dude, the minute you talk about who you are, it's over.
I don't think that that's the case.
You're the worst person they could have.
Why?
Because you have a platform. That's what they're terrified of. You have a platform, you have influence, and you're well seen. And we say the dumbest shit on this podcast.
I guess, but I mean,
we're going to do case-by-case breakdowns for the rest of the offseason.
Does that mean I can't be impartial? I can be impartial.
No, but I think it's more of a risk thing with them, right?
Like, I'm going to go on the podcast and talk about the case. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I can get in trouble for that.
It would be good content, though.
It'd be great content. So the case that I got put on, it was 2 days. And they were like, all right, like we have to come back tomorrow to deliberate. And everyone voted guilty except for this one person. And they were like, when you go home, like you can't like look into the case. Like you can't like Google it or like research these people. So
how can you not?
Obviously, I looked at the kids. So the kid had a DUI, and I'm pretty sure he was also underage, like was not 21. And his defense was, I don't even drink. And motherfucker's Facebook profile picture was him with a Bud Light, just being like,
Jared, like, pictures can be edited. It was his
fucking profile picture.
Pictures can be edited. What are you accusing this kid of?
I'm just saying. I mean, again, that's not admissible in court. See, this is why I shouldn't get picked to be on a jury, is judge. Because I'm gonna break the rules. I'm gonna
play this shit right now, Judge. Put T-Dog up on the screen. Mm-hmm. He's revealed details about a case he was involved in. Yeah. He has the social media platform.
What is it? Statute of limitations. It's been over 10 years.
Oh, all right. Still, not a good look for you.
Not a good look. I mean, trust me, I would love to be impartial. I just have a knack for justice. Like I want to make sure, hey, this kid said he's never drank before. I mean, let's check out his Facebook and see, has he drank before? And it looks like he may have.
All I can picture is the Mac
What
Jones
a terrible
DUI
lawyer,
picture.
By the way. The lawyer being like, that's like the first thing you should tell your client for a DUI. Hey, do you have any pictures of you like slamming beers? Yeah, it's my profile picture. Yeah, let's maybe take that down. Put up a picture of you and a baby or something.
Damn, man.
Yeah. So
whoever the criminal is for tomorrow, man, get working on your social media.
Yeah, you're fucked, dude.
He posts a picture with you, like an edited picture.
Yeah, imagine like his Twitter picture is like a picture of me and him like outside of Fenway. And it's like, can you be impartial about this? Yes.
Would you ride?
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, dude, there's no way. He's guilty. There's no way. Not my people.
Another reason, Judge. Attention. He's just admitted he could be swayed based off that as well.
Oh, yeah. Like,
you're coming home.
Imagine that dude's like, honestly, like, I know, I may have fucked up, Your Honor, but like, this is pretty cool that, like, I'm a huge fan of his podcast.
They're like,
well, yeah, I don't think he's guilty.
Little Jacob, come up to the stand, little Jacob. Speak to everyone in the courtroom today. All I want to say is, Alex Cora is my manager.
Yeah,
steps down.
Fuck yeah, dude. Like,
it's over.
Yeah, Jumbo Dong,
I'm a Bres
Ding
bro.
Dong, Raffy Big Scoops, JP Jesus.
He's wearing the Section 10 merch.
Yeah, he goes up to testify and he's just like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, this dude, he's getting a non-guilty for me.
God, Jake, go with him tomorrow. Film this. I need this content.
Yeah.
But
I can be impartial.
That's a word for it.
I can be impartial. And, but I mean, it's in a courthouse that's like the town over from where I grew up. Like, what are the odds that if this is a 20-something-year-old male that he's not going to be like a Sox fan? If he's obviously not going to be wearing a Sox hat in court, but like,
if he's wearing a Yankees anything, he's doing 25 to life.
Yeah, the fullest extent of the law. Behind bars.
Say goodbye to his family. They're taking him away.
Yeah,
too bad. Yeah. Should have trolled me on Twitter, man.
Yeah, listen. See you later.
God. All right. Should we hit on what else we got for news?
What else do we have for news?
Andrew Bailey, Chris Cotillo putting it out over the last couple days that basically he's the favorite. He mentioned it on the podcast as well. And I think we talked about it a little bit last episode. They've always been close, 2013 and 2012 teammates in Boston. They do the Strike 3 Foundation. I think they're neighbors as well, Cotillo said. So it feels like only a matter of time. You happy about that?
Listen, I love Andrew Bailey.
You have a relationship?
Yeah.
Spikes
Up Tour 2020? Yeah. Spikes Up Tour 2020 before the world went to shit. Good dude, very knowledgeable. Pitchers that have worked with him speak very highly of him. I know he's got the relationship with Breslow. And yeah, I like that. I would be happy with that hire.
Yeah, I think for some people, they're like, oh, well, why doesn't he have a job? His contract expired this year. He's done 4 seasons in San Francisco. They changed the manager. He wants to be closer to home, which is in Connecticut. It kind of checks off every single box. I see some people being like, oh, here we go. Nepotism. This is like the Patriots. Let's hire all our buddies. That's all we friggin' do at this point.
I mean, dude, that's not
Andrew
the
Bailey
worst formula. Theo Epstein hires all of his buddies. Does he not?
True. That's how Breslow got a job, right? In the first place.
Theo Epstein hires all of his buddies. I mean, like the Cubs during that run of going to the NLCS every year and winning the World Series, that was literally Theo Epstein hiring all of his buddies and hiring all of the former players that retired that wanted to either get into the front office or into a coaching job. Like fucking Manny Ramirez was a player coach. And like, look at Javi Baez's swing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the Iowa Cubs player coach, Manny Ramirez. Look at fucking Wilson Contreras' swing. Look at Javi Baez's swing. And tell me you don't see a little bit of Manny Ramirez. Kevin Youkilis, I believe, worked for the Cubs for a little bit over there. Mike Napoli over at first base. David Ross is in the dugout until he got shit canned for unjust reasons, in my opinion. Craig Breslow, Jed Hoyer, all these people. They're all Theo guys, and they're all his buddies. But it's not like he's hiring his college roommate from Yale to coach first base. He's hiring people that he knows he's worked with that are super smart. And you know where Craig Breslow went to school?
Yale.
Do you think he's smart?
It's a good school.
So you think like if he makes a decision to bring someone in that might be a buddy of his, that it's a smart decision? Like it's an informed opinion?
I think so. And I think with Bailey, it's like, check the track record. Have we not been calling San Francisco a pitching lab for the last 4 years?
Yeah.
Like that's something they do well. You want an example? Go check out that guy, Kevin Gausman. We cry about on this podcast all the time. Showed up in 2020 and turned into one of the better pitchers in baseball. Rodon in San Francisco. Had a really good year with Chicago. Goes to San Fran, gets even crazier, gets friggin' paid, and now he's stealing money from the Yankees. So shout out Andrew Bailey for that one. Logan Webb flourishing underneath them. So if you're looking for a guy who could come in here and actually make guys better, maybe someone that can help Whitlock and help reach a different level, Brian Bayo keep developing that sweeper, he's the kind of guy who could do it. I'm all in on that. And I do want to ask you while we're here, because I've seen it all over Twitter, David Ross coming on the coaching staff, I think is unrealistic. There's obviously managerial openings as well. But is there a chance he could join the Red Sox in some capacity, Jared? And
David
what about
Ross?
Mike Napoli?
Mike Napoli? So,
Napoli's the first base coach in Chicago.
He was
under Ross, for people who don't know.
I mean, I know they liked what Huddy did last year. I know he was well received and respected in what he did last year.
Third base.
I mean, Knapp, I think, wants to manage someday. I don't think that'll be here. I think there's already a line for that. But I mean, it's a nice resume builder. Obviously, he loves Boston, and I'm sure he would welcome the opportunity to come back here. I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, what if the Cubs sign Shohei Ohtani? Are you coming over to Boston if you have the chance to be working with Shohei Ohtani every day? I'm sure he'd love it. Like, Chicago is just as cool, if not cooler, than Boston. Like, I don't know that Knapp has any desire to leave the Cubs.
I can't blame him. It's scary how many people are calling the Cubs a sleeper for Ohtani now. It's almost like they're not a sleeper.
Well, they're going to be like the most aggressive. I mean, the Dodgers are minus 110 on the DraftKings Sportsbook. So, I don't know that. Where are these just like fan rumors on Twitter?
Yeah, I think everyone, when they saw Counsell end up over there, I jokingly tweeted it out as well with everyone.
What, that he just wants his own coaching staff or something?
No, it's just, well, I know he's bringing a lot of people. That's the belief for Counsell right now. Pulling from Milwaukee, we'll see what comes and goes. I think Pat Murphy was one of the guys that they really want to follow with Counsell. But
Murph might be the new manager of the Brew Crew.
And that was another thing, him getting the interview.
Murph is the fucking man.
That cool?
Yes. So he was
Counsell's coach at one point, wasn't he?
He was Dustin Pedroia's college coach at ASU. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, put it this way. If Murph becomes the new manager of the Brew Crew, he'll be on Baseball is Dead the next day.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's a dude. Loves Brock Holt too, by the way.
Great taste.
Yeah.
I will add on the whole coaching discussion just to wrap it up. Breslow did acknowledge third base and infield instructor, what Feblis was doing before. They are open to hiring a guy for each role so that it won't be just one thing anymore. I've also heard, some talk that Andy Fox could be the guy they move over there. I don't know. We'll see. But it's all up in the air. It seems like they're more worried about the pitching coach right now than anything else.
I mean, it's probably going to be Andrew Bailey.
Book it. Last thing. Oh, yeah. Let's just touch quickly on the DH conversation. Breslow emphasized that it's going to be a right-handed bat and basically said, listen, I played with David Ortiz. If you're short of that, it's probably best to lean on versatility. So that's kind of the frame you're working with. They want someone who's a little versatile and a right-handed bat. Justin Turner fits that to some degree. We know the D-backs are in on him. The Cubs are, and and the Mariners. Those were the three other teams that were mentioned along with the Red Sox by Morosi today.
I mean, he's still here, dude. I feel like
I think he'll take something even if it's a little lesser than those other spots.
If the Red Sox want Justin Turner, it feels like they can have Justin Turner. Like, I don't know by how much would the top bidder have to outbid the Red Sox for it to make it like a no-brainer decision for him to go elsewhere. But I mean, the motherfucker is still candlepin bowling in Boston. It's like, bro, season ended like a month and a half ago. You can
working out at Fenway, it seems, this week, according to Cora.
Right? Like, it seems like he would prefer to come back, but you got to go through the due diligence process of like seeing what's out there. And I believe yesterday was the first day that players could receive offers. Yeah, because like I saw that Whit Merrifield report, and I don't know how valid it is.
Yeah, I think it was framed by Jen McCaffrey as like something along the lines like might be someone they target. During this time, everyone's kind of hungry for rumors. But I do want to throw a couple names at you and see if I can tickle your nuts a little bit. Jorge Soler.
I could be into it.
Rhys Hoskins.
I could also be into it because the first, not that like Casas is not going to be a platoon, but like, he can be spelled at first and you can DH him. Yeah. Could be talking.
And then Teoscar Hernandez.
No.
Whoa. Not even thinking about it, even though he's dominated at Fenway.
Look at the OPS year over year. It goes down every year.
Yeah. Last year he was basically like Hunter Renfroe, right?
It's gone down
right in that ballpark.
every year over like the last 4 years.
Yeah. It was like 105 this year. He's a little bit better defensively than someone like Soler, big arm, but it's not like he ever play right field at Fenway or that you'd want him out there consistently.
Yeah.
And then Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
How old is he? Still in his 20s?
I think he just hit 30 off the top of my head. Obviously a little bit different of a hitter than those other guys we mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably I like maybe Pyle, but leaning towards no.
Yeah, so he actually this past season was age 29, so he's 30 now. And he's another guy, like over the last 3 seasons, 21, 109 OPS plus, 114 OPS plus 22. Then last year was 108. Got off to a good start. He made the All-Star team and everything and showed up in the playoffs. But if I'm the Red Sox, you need a bigger bat than that. You need someone that's going to give you a little more thump. And that's not just in terms of power, but we saw what Justin Turner did for the entire lineup. The way he approached it led to everyone else kind of working those tough counts, especially when the offense was full strength early in the year and doing their thing. I think that's such a major voice to take out of that clubhouse. It scares me.
Did he lead the Red Sox in weighted runs created plus?
Justin Turner? No.
Raffy?
I think it was Casas. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head.
Ooh.
Because Casas was definitely higher than Devers. I was looking at the numbers the other day. Yeah. Casas was the highest on the team. Turner, because he got hurt at the end, it ended up being 114.
Did you just see this tweet?
By
from Chris Enrique?
Oh,
let me read it to you. I'll read it to you. Let me read it to you. The Red Sox may not be actively shopping outfielder Alex Verdugo. There is indeed interest from other clubs, as reported by Micropenis, Pete Abe, and others. One team to continue to keep an eye on for Verdugo?
The Yankees.
The Yankees.
Okay, I'll tell you, not to crap on this guy. Catillo put out an article, and I was reading it right before, and it had that nugget in there. So maybe that you draw the line and say those are two different people saying that. Now, for people who don't know, the Red Sox were offered Clark Schmidt for Verdugo at the deadline and said no. Yankees fans are going to be sobbing, bro. They're going to be crying, thinking they're getting Bellinger or Soto.
They get Verdugo.
Pretty fucking good. But I did think it was pretty noticeable today. How often do you hear someone, especially this early in the offseason, be like, yeah, we're getting calls on that guy?
It is interesting how early we're hearing about that, which makes me believe that they're going to have to make a move.
I think it just makes a lot of sense. And you hear how Cora talks about Wilyer Abreu. Seems like a lot of people around the organization are very into him. I could see it being a platoon role or something like that, but I'd like, some kind of big bat added out there as well. It would make me happy. Not major, but someone you can go and say, all right, maybe this is another right-handed bat that gives us some thump.
Like
even things out.
Maybe
you're looking for a name?
Maybe like a Fernando Tatis Jr.
Whoa! That one would get very sexy. That's the kind of move, but if that happens, we're saying goodbye to Soto. But I think
Soto ain't going anywhere, I don't think.
With the wind every day. I know Preller today said, we're talking contract. We're hoping.
There's only one guy that you should believe, and it's Scott Boras. And he seems to believe that Soto's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I'll throw in along with it. We got the report as well the last couple days that they think they'll get more for him at the trade deadline, which makes zero fucking sense.
Makes no
but
sense at all.
that's the shit they're also pushing out over there. So
No.
I don't know. I think they're going to look at it and they're going to have to make some hard decisions because they're lowering payroll. It's going to have to come from somewhere. Cool. If they pay Soto, Tatis should be one of the first things you're calling about because he can play right field. He's athletic. I know there's some steroid stuff in there that makes the PR stuff not look great, but you can argue he's a better fit on paper than Juan Soto is.
I mean, I've been talking about this for years. Tatis.
Yeah, I remember the Coley conversation. I'm pretty sure was like right after 2022 during our winter meetings episode. We did like 45 minutes on it.
Tatis.
Jared, it sounds like you're hearing things.
No, I'm not.
You dreaming?
I'm not. No, I'm not hearing anything. But I'm just saying, like, if the Padres need to offload money and they don't plan on moving Soto, then I would be just fine with taking Tatis off their hands. I mean, it's also a fuck ton of money, and it's the length. It almost makes more sense, at least from the Padres' perspective.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. If you're trying to fix clubhouse culture, I know he's been rumored to be one of the guys that maybe doesn't exactly fit in there or mesh very well.
Yeah, and you know who fucking can straighten him out and gets through to him in a way that a lot of other guys can't?
Who?
David Ortiz.
Another way for him to feel like, oh, that was another thing I wanted to ask Cora. But hey, the organization still cares about me, still values me. I can put my arm around this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hate it. Don't hate it one bit.
Listen, I sat at a table with both of them and listened to them talk about baseball with each other. I feel like that is a relationship that is underappreciated when we talk about maybe adding a guy like that.
I don't think a lot of people knew that he was a Fernando Tatis Jr. guy as much as he is a Juan Soto guy.
Poppy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So big fan of both.
Mm-hmm. Go back and watch that interview.
By the way, Chris Henrik. Was that who you were referring to?
Yeah. Did I say his name wrong?
I think you said Henrique. That's why I took it wrong. Good guy. He beyond the monster. He founded it.
Oh, cool.
Very good guy. It's been good to me. But yeah, him and I know he took the workshop with Cotillo. They run in similar circles. So good information there across the board.
Okay.
Other than that, I think that's all our topics for this week.
Wow. Jake, you have any topics?
No, I was just going to say, shout out to that DUI kid's lawyer. Going to be having to do big time damage control when this podcast drops.
You remember his name?
No, that was 12 years ago at this point?
I bet he's doing great. Probably has a family.
I hope, yeah, he's probably got like a wife and kids by now, right?
After you ruined his future.
I said he wasn't guilty.
Oh, you said not
Or
guilty.
no. I said, yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking remember. Who cares?
Happy his life meant so much to you.
I mean, listen. Don't put me on this trial.
Guys, imagine what you can accomplish when you're not distracted by the swampy conditions in your shorts. Dollar Shave Club's ball spray is like deodorant for your balls. It absorbs moisture, reduces chafing, and keeps those rank odors at bay. Not to mention our minty fresh, tingly aroma that lets you know you're fresh, and a precision sprayer that makes application easy at any angle. Get a fresh pair. Visit dollarshaveclub.com to get ball spray today.
I do want to give you the chance. I saw you say it to someone on Twitter the other day. Do you want to let everyone know you're feeling good? You're doing better?
I'm going to die within the next 24 hours.
You're worrying people. Also, the person who tweeted it at you acted like we had not recorded anything since that last episode with Will. And I was like, oh no. I was like, we were here last week. Nothing's really changed.
Yeah. I am off the couch, which is nice. So yeah, people were like trying to figure out, like, they were like, oh, you think my fucking ear would have, people were like, oh, he talked about like his ear was clogged. I don't think that I would be fucking dead on the couch because of my fucking ear. It was like a stomach intestine thing. And it was a 10 out of 10 on the pain scale. I did the first episode of Baseball is Dead that I had to do, and I tried to do it in studio. I fucking had to shut the camera off. Like, that, I was in so much fucking pain. So I was waiting for like the sweat. I was on the couch for 12 days. 12 fucking days. Couldn't move. But I'm better now. Thank God. still need the surgery, but that's probably going to be at a later point in the offseason. It's not the dude that's doing the surgeon that's doing the surgery is on paternity leave. So I have to wait for him to come back to do the consultation to then book the surgery. And I was like, we got a head start on this fucking thing. Like, this happened during the playoffs. So I'm like, oh man, I'm definitely going to be able to get the surgery during the off season. And hopefully that still happens. I don't know, but I'm going to be very upset if it runs into baseball season. I'm like, we had all fucking winter to do this, all off season to do this. But yeah, I'm still going to need it some point soon. But the good thing is I'm not on an exponential amount of pain medication anymore. I'm just raw dogging life, feeling good, feeling much better.
Feeling the juices.
Yeah, feeling the juices. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. I appreciate the people in the Reddit and on Twitter and wherever else, Instagram messages that were concerned. I know people are saying, "Oh, you got to take some time off." I'll take some time off when I get the surgery. Because I think the other thing too is like, it's not to be all like sappy and everything, but all it takes is one person. I mean, it's not just one person, but all it takes is one person being like, "Hey, I've been going through some stuff, and like, I look forward to the podcast. It's a nice way to escape, and makes me feel better." Cool. I mean, if we are your escape and we provide a laugh or two for people that are going through it, I'll be here. I'll be on every single episode. I don't know what the surgery recovery is like 4 to 6 weeks, but there's no way that's going to prevent me from fucking doing a podcast. Like the day that I get operated on, I would assume we wouldn't be recording, but if I can do the podcast the next day, I'll be doing the podcast the next day. So, that's why I'm on every episode. That's why I don't take time off, is because messages like that. So we'll be here for you. We'll be here again next week with another member of the Clark's Catch-Up voting panel. Any guesses?
Listen, I don't want to spill the beans here. I would say I'll drop a hint. A controversial one.
Oh,
that's a fair way to describe it, right?
Sure. If that's how you feel about it, I'm gonna tell them that.
I think amongst fans.
Okay.
Jake.
I thought we were gonna do AC again.
Every week, baby.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna text Brock. He'll probably text me because he'll listen. He's probably he's in the future. He's texting me right now because he's listened.
Text me, B-Dog.
I'll put you guys in group text.
We don't need to.
Oh, you guys are. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you're probably gonna call him after this.
Yeah, well, me, Brock, and Benintendi, we got lunch plans this weekend. So catch up.
Get it?
Oh, I did that on purpose, actually.
What happened to Bullet?
He died.
You did that on purpose too.
When you die from this health scare,
mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get a sound that plays something similar involving you.
What was I gonna say? What happened to Jared?
What happened to Jared? He died. And we're gonna play it every fucking episode.
Wow.
Teasing the people. That's not nice.
Well. Okay. Jake's takes?
Yeah, just shout out AC hopping on. Always a good interview. I think obviously had him on section 10, but never since I was a part of the podcast. So cool to have him come on and finally get an answer to whether or not his vote should count as more. So I think we have the answer.
Mm-hmm. That was his first time on Name Redacted?
Yep.
Wow.
I think by far, no disrespect to anyone else, but we never ended up doing Heim, right? Never ended up working out. Cora might
was never on Name Redacted?
We never did Heim.
What?
Yes. We did Matt Barnes.
We never had Heim on Name Redacted?
Nope.
What?
Whatever. I definitely remember it being towards the end of section 10, the last Heim-Bloom interview you did, because I remember tweeting out quotes from it. I was definitely at the Sports Hub.
Well, he became like a podcast whore. Like he was going on everyone's podcast, and I was like, all right. Like, because he did section 10 like before he did anything. And then he started doing all the podcasts. And I was like, if he's going to do everyone's, then Yeah.
We want the post Heim. We want the after Boston Heim to come on here and lay some of those details.
Here's the thing.
Turning down that Miami job.
I feel like, there's probably a chance that happens.
Heim?
When he's ready. When he's ready, the door is open for Heim.
Lots
he
of
knows
teams
that.
calling.
Yeah, lots of teams. He said Miami.
Cardinals.
That's what he said. Yeah. All right. We'll be back next week. Tyler, any final thoughts?
Yeah, for anyone concerned about my health or what's been going on with me.
Nope.
I'm in the best-
All
Oh,
right.
what?
We'll
No.
see you next week.
Wait.
What? No one cares. All right.
No,
Bye.
fuck you. Wrap it up.
See ya.
Buenas noches, amigos.